Hello neighbor, this is Curt with eTrailer, and today we're going to take a look at the Yakima JetStream Roof Rack, and we're going to see how it fits and how it installs on our 2024 Volkswagen Tiguan. Now, a roof rack is an excellent option as far as carrying extra cargo that's either too big to fit in your vehicle or just too messy or something you just don't want riding in the vehicle with you. It's going to make a great alternative to carrying something in your hitch, either on a basket or in a trailer or anything like that. Being able to put things up on your roof is going to kind of save a lot of the footprint of your vehicle. If you have a hitch accessory or if you have a trailer, you're always having to worry about parking and things like that. The only thing you really have to worry about with a roof rack is low clearances, like a garage or something like that. But this particular roof rack is an Aero style roof rack. It has Aero style bars, meaning they have this kind of ovular shape. This is going to help reduce vibration and road noise significantly when compared to round or square bars. They are 50 inches long, so we're going to have 50 inches of usable bar space. It does have a little bit of an overhang here, not so much on the front bar that there's going to be a lot of accessories. You can get a clamp around it, but it does give you more T-track at the top to be able to use rather than a flush set of bars. A flush set of bars are the kind of bars that dead end into your towers. The overhang bars just give us a lot more bar space to work with. And these are going to give us a weight capacity of 165 pounds. However, be mindful, double check your owner's manual and look for the roof carrying capacity of the vehicle. If it's lower than 165 pounds, you're going to have to go off of that number. So let's talk about the fit a little bit. Now, this is a raised rail, which does give us the freedom to kind of move our bars wherever we want to have them. We're going to show you how they install momentarily, and I will touch on this in that section, but I did set them up in a very specific spot. I'm just standing in the door threshold right now, and I am right directly in the middle of my bar. So that's going to make it really easy to load and unload any cargo that I'm going to be keeping up here. We've got it set up at a crossbar spread of 30 inches, which is, to me, a perfect spread. I usually aim for between 28 and 32, and that's because that is going to fit most rooftop accessories that are out there. All of them have a minimum and a maximum crossbar spread that you can use. We're also going to take a look and see what kind of height this adds to the vehicle. And this is going to give us a height of about 3 3/4 inches above our roof here. So if you know your vehicle height, add that number plus the number of the height of your accessory, and you'll be able to get your overall vehicle height and be able to determine those low clearances when you come upon them. We're also going to take a look at what kind of clearance we have underneath the bar. Underneath the bar, we've got just under 3 inches of clearance. That's more than enough room to reach those clamp-mounted accessories on here. And we do have an antenna back here that stands just under 3 inches. So I'm not worried about anything I'm carrying up here interfering with that at all. Now, installation of this roof rack is really simple, so follow along. We'll show you how we got these on the roof of our Volkswagen today. The only tools that you're going to need for installation is the included tool that Yakima gives you and a measuring tape. So we're going to begin by assembling our towers to our crossbars. So we're just going to take our crossbar, turn it over, and we're going to remove our end caps. With your end caps removed, go ahead and grab one of your towers. Now, the tower is going to have 2 different bolts on it. We're going to have this one here toward the inside. This is going to control how high our T-slot block is going to be and how tight it's going to get. This is going to control our strap. So for now, we're going to go ahead and mount this onto our bar. On the underside, we have this open T-slot right here. And then this block right here is going to slide right into that, just like so. Once it's on there, go ahead and replace your end cap and repeat the process on the other side. Okay, so with the wider end of the crossbar facing the front of the vehicle and the narrower end facing the rear, go ahead and get it up over your roof. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to hook the strap to the underneath of my raised rail and the tower kind of over the top, just like that. We're going to do the same thing on this side. Just going to kind of adjust it, get the strap underneath the rail, and the tower nestled on the top of it. Now, while we're here and everything is loosened up, one thing to keep in mind, with a raised rail, there's no fixed mounting points. That leaves me free to move these bars kind of however I want to. But there is a specific location that I think would be very, very beneficial for a couple of reasons. One, I've got my front bar on already. I lined that up so that the center of this bolt is with this door seam. I also double checked and measured this space right here and made sure it matched it on my passenger side. That way I can guarantee that my bar is going to be perpendicular to the rails. And if I do the same thing on the second bar, these are going to be perfectly parallel to each other. Now, what I want to do is get this in a position to where I have maybe a 30-inch crossbar spread. By crossbar spread, I mean the distance between the two bars. Now, most rooftop accessories have a minimum maximum spread somewhere between 25 and 35 inches, so 30 inches is a good place to aim. But say perhaps you're getting this roof rack for a very specific item, a roof box or basket or bike rack or something that you're going to put on the roof of your vehicle, and there's a certain crossbar spread that you really like. Feel free to move it forward or back however you want it. But the reason that I put it right here in the front is because when I open my door, the door threshold is going to be in a good spot to be right in the middle of my two bars. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to grab my measuring tape and I'm going to measure the center of this bar to the center of this bar and get it at 30 inches. Once I get it where I want it up here, and in this case, the center bolt ends up being just inside of this seam right here on the door, I'm going to reach underneath for this rubber strap. It's got this metal bar going across it that's going to nestle right inside this point here. So I'm just going to bring this around, loop it over, and set it in place. Now, the next thing that I want to check out is going to be my overhang. Basically, the overhang is how far your crossbar comes past your tower here. I want to make sure this is going to be equal on both of my towers. So I'm going to grab my measuring tape again, and we can maneuver this bar back and forth as needed because we haven't tightened down that bolt yet. So one of the things you might notice right away is that there's a lot more overhang on my back bar than on the front bar, and that's because the rails up here taper toward the back of the vehicle. So the further up front you are, the wider the rails are. The further to the back, the closer they're come together. Therefore, because the bars are the same length, we're going to have a different overhang back here than we have up there. But now that I've got it measured so that it's even on both sides of the vehicle, I'm going to go ahead and grab the tool from Yakima, and I'm going to go ahead and tighten that top bolt in here. That's going to anchor my bar in place onto my tower so it doesn't shift back and forth. Now, what you want to do is get these to where they're going to be snug. Once they're snug, it's a really good idea to start alternating back and forth between your driver and your passenger side. Maybe 3 or 4 turns over here, 3 or 4 turns over there. The reason is because if one side is so much looser than the other, if I completely tighten one side down, there's a good chance it's going to knock the other side out of alignment, and we just have to start all of our measurements all over. So make sure you're kind of going back and forth a little bit. And when you get to the point where these are going to be tight enough, this is a torquing tool that Yakima gives us. So we're going to hear a nice audible pop as soon as we've got it tight. That's it. That's the sound it'll make when it's tightened to spec. And now we can grab our tower covers. Our tower's covers are really, really easy to put on. They just snap into place. But while I have it off of here, I just wanted to show you something. Now, Yakima towers come with a plastic lock core. These are lockable. However, if you wanted to actually get locks for them, Yakima does have their SKS or same key system. You can order lock cores and keys that'll be keyed alike, and you can get them keyed alike to your other Yakima accessories. So for instance, if you have a cargo box up here or a bike rack that you use out of the hitch and it's from Yakima and there's a certain key number on them, you can get your towers to be keyed alike to that bike rack or that roof box or whatever accessory it is. That way you don't have a key ring with 5 or 6 different Yakima keys and you got to guess which one goes with which. You can actually get everything keyed alike so that it's really simple and organized. But our tower cover is just going to simply pop into place. If you have a lock there, you would lock it. That'll secure this up to the vehicle. Give it a good shake. Make sure everything's on there really tight. Nothing's moving. The vehicle's moving, but the towers and the bars are not. And that's going to complete your installation. So that's really it for the installation. And as you can see, we get a really good fit on our Tiguan today. If you're concerned about the overhang of the door or of the crossbars, it barely comes outside of the door threshold. So I'm not concerned with headroom or anything of that nature either. But if you still have some questions regarding this roof rack or its installation, go ahead and leave those in the comments below. We would love to answer those questions for you. It'll help you and other neighbors just like you to make the best decision for yourself. Once again, this is Curt with eTrailer. Thanks for stopping by.